All right, everyone, we are now live. Today, we have a pretty fun training. We are going to be kicking off and chatting with you guys today about branding in the real estate niche and branding to your clientele and your ideal audience of who you want to get in front of and how to display yourself so that you guys can build a solid brand for your not only your company but also for yourself as an agent that's in that local marketplace. As we all know, as agents, it's very important to make sure that our face, our name, our contact information is out there being placed in front of our potential buyers and sellers that we are looking to work with. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and we'll get started on the slide deck. So first thing that we're going to take a look at here in this is going to be the same place that we start with just about everything that we do for our agents, and that boils down to audiences. Right. So everybody should be asking some questions to themselves. Who is my ideal audience of buyers, sellers, investors? Who is it that I'm going to be targeting and getting in front of so that I can share my brand, my message, and my image to the world and gain traction and additional business? So again, this is a question every real estate agent needs to ponder, and having the correct message is only half of the battle, you guys. Placing the message in front of the right audience is what allows you to actually win this battle and get ahead of the curve and stay ahead of your competition. Now, in today's world, video is becoming ever so much more important in displaying and growing your guys' brand and putting the right message in front of the right audiences of individuals. So as you can see here, video is becoming a necessity in brand growth of real estate agents, whether that video is displayed organically through paid traffic or as an additional means of follow-up with potential buyers or sellers. So that's a little loaded out of the gate. So I'm going to expand on these a little bit. So when we are looking at video being displayed organically, that's going to be videos that you're going to shoot and you're going to place on your Facebook page, maybe your Instagram, your LinkedIn, place it on your YouTube channel, or TikTok, any means of social media where you have the opportunity to display a video. And I'm even going to throw Hulu out there as well. Hulu has some new awesome plans where they have just launched their advertising platform that's a self-serve ad platform where you can actually start marketing your local audience and get in front of them on their televisions at an extremely low cost. They start at $500 a month. So that's another good aspect or way for you guys to actually get in front of your local audience of home shoppers or home sellers and delivering your message directly to them. So as we're going through these, I want you guys to kind of keep those particular platforms in mind and think about ways that you can leverage videos that you're creating to not only work on one platform, but work on multiple platforms, and the ways that you can leverage those so that you can win more business and save yourselves time when creating this content. Because we all know videos take a very, very long time. I can tell you from experience, we've shot hundreds and hundreds of videos, whether that's for our internal courses, for our marketing purposes, or whether it's for live trainings just like this. Now, of course, the live trainings are, that we've got an outline that we're going through, but we don't have a script that we're following in any of these. And I think that that's one thing that needs to be said about your video marketing is that not every video or piece of content that you create that's video related needs to be scripted. A lot of those are going to need to be off the cuff. Maybe you have a rough outline of what you want to cover, but it's important that you maintain genuineness in that video and be your guys' self. Be yourself, extremely important. But a couple of ways that we can showcase authority in a local marketplace. These are different video ideas that you guys can run. So number one is going to be providing information about the local real estate market health. Tell me, you guys, if you were to if you were thinking about purchasing a home or selling a home, and you were going out into this world of, say, the Zillows, the Realtor.coms, you're on Facebook now and you're being targeted by all of these agents in your local marketplace, what are some things that are going to stand out to you that are going to make you want to work with one agent over another agent? And show of hands, or just go ahead and unmute yourselves. Does anyone have any ideas that you guys would kind of utilize to leverage and showcase yourself as the authority in that marketplace over other agents? Anyone?
Neighborhood information.
That's great. What neighborhood information do you think you'd specifically want to share?
Well, maybe the types of houses, the price point. Does the neighborhood have pools, swing sets, play yard? Is it gated? Just different things that might appeal to people for that particular area. Maybe do like have your gimbal out there and do kind of a little drive through so they can see what the neighborhood looks like.
Absolutely. And would you prefer to do that as a drive through in your car, or would you prefer to just walk down the neighborhood and take a short video?
I think a little of both probably be good, because when you're walking, they're not going to see very much. They'll see 4 or 5 houses.
I think it's also important in situations like that to find the cornerstones in your market, right? What are those objects in your city that people are going to recognize when you start shooting that video, so that right out the gate, the first thing that people see, the first few seconds, is something, hey, I know that's the Space Needle, or hey, I know that's whatever it might be in your market or your city that people know well, is also a good way to start a video. And I know that's not a neighborhood, but just thinking in aspects like that as well.
No, that's a very, very valid point. And so that is leveraging landmarks or something that may be in a potential market to your benefit as an agent, so that you can catch that viewer's attention from the beginning of that video. And I think that's something that's extremely important, because it's going to resonate with an individual that lives in that particular community, and they're going to know that, hey, you're going to be talking about my specific community. I think that's a great point.
What about
go ahead.
I was going to say, what about a local market update, right? Because right now markets are completely shifting and changing a lot. We all know that prices are skyrocketing across the country. So there's probably a lot of opportunity that you could do with that as well. Showing the differences in different neighborhoods on pricing, and which neighborhoods are still okay priced, or which ones are way out of people's range, things like that. Sorry, Bryan.
Absolutely. No, that's all great stuff. Thanks for the ad. Now, a couple of things that you guys could also look into with this, provide, and there's an ongoing theme with every single one of these different ideas, and it's all about providing information to your potential audience, right? So let's provide them information about upcoming events in the community that you're targeting. If let's just say that your local community has a festival going on at one of the parks this weekend, it would be a really good thing to highlight and showcase that, and maybe let everyone know that you're going to be there and available to answer questions to anyone. And this could be a great ad that you could run for video views to an entire community on Facebook at an extremely low cost, and deliver your message to thousands and thousands of individuals that could potentially be looking to go to that particular event. Also taking an organic approach on that and providing that information through several facets. And we're going to get into that a little bit more in some of the upcoming slides, but leveraging all of these additional ways to provide that content on different platforms, so that you can expand your organic reach far and wide, as well as your paid advertising approach on that. Providing additional information around any changes to your local market. So if there are any new stores, restaurants, if school zoning is changing, or if there's been gentrification in a marketplace, these are all things that can drastically help you build your brand and grow your reputation and set you as an authority figure in that marketplace as an agent. Now, these gentrifying marketplaces may be a really good place to get into, because right now I can tell you, I'm searching for a home. My wife and I are looking to buy a house right now, and inventory is extremely low. But I'm actually expanding the markets that I'm looking into, because I can see crime rates in certain neighborhoods used to be much higher than they are right now. And I'm looking at those data points and saying, okay, well, what's been going on in this particular neighborhood? And so then I, having all these tools and resources, go in and I look into platforms like Remine, and I can see, oh, okay, there have been a lot of homes that have recently sold, and I can see those values are starting to increase. And then I decide, you know, I'm going to go and take a drive through this neighborhood, because when I look at it on Google Maps, it looks kind of scary. But as I go and drive through these neighborhoods, I can see that a lot of that scariness is actually cleaned up, and things are looking a lot more presentable, and are a little bit nicer. And so I can see that these particular areas where people are buying into, that they are gentrifying. This may have been an older crowd that was there that has lived in this particular home or this neighborhood for the last 20, 30 years. And now there's some new blood that's coming into this particular marketplace, and it's freshening it up. Everything's coming alive again, because that's just how these things change, right? So extremely important to talk about all these different things. I would also provide information regarding any upcoming extracurricular activities for those schools. Now, in one of my previous trainings, we've talked about getting into your local schools, your local school districts, their programs for their sporting events. That way you can get in front of the parents, right? So if you are taking that approach and you're going and sponsoring some of these local high schools and maybe middle schools, and getting yourself in front of those parents, it would also be good to kind of highlight and bring some videos to the table, because if any of those parents begin to follow you on social, you want to make sure that you're speaking to things on your social media that are going to catch their attention, and that they're going to find relevant to how they met you or were first introduced to you as an agent. Another great way is to provide information about your local market health, which is what William was talking about earlier. What's been selling? How long is it taking to sell? And what do those value increases look like or decreases look like? I know right now we aren't really seeing decreases in value in very many markets. We are in some, but in most we're not. So also I would focus on going another layer up. You're going to have some folks that kind of have that high level view over things. And it would be important to make sure that you're providing them with information about real estate from a national level and a national standpoint as well. Some people really enjoy that analytical side of things. And so we want to make sure that we can get in front of kind of all parties with a message that's going to help deliver our brand consistently to our potential buyers and sellers. So I want to give you guys some video tools and resources that are going to help you guys produce high quality videos at a very, very low cost, and also some things like virtual tours, right? So it's extremely important that your phone has an awesome camera on it. So if you have anything from, say, an iPhone 11 up, or a Samsung S20 up, or a Google Pixel from the 3 up, you have a pretty darn good camera on your phone, and that should be leveraged to help you grow your business at a low cost, right? And so with these phones, we want to make sure that we have a couple of tools to make sure that we can provide the best level of quality of those videos. So I highly recommend, if you guys haven't picked one up, the DJI Osmo 5 or equivalent. There's a Smooth, there's several other brands that have a very similar product at a lower cost. The DJI Osmo came out originally at the highest cost on the market. They were the first to really put these things out there. And since they have grown their production of these, their costs have gone down. So you can get a DJI Osmo for anywhere from 140 to 160 bucks on Amazon or at your local Best Buy. So I highly recommend picking up a motion stabilizer. This is going to make it so that when you're walking through a neighborhood and you're creating a video, everything is going to be smooth and fluid in that video, and it's going to look like a production crew actually did this for you. The DJI Osmo also has an extension on it, so you can extend that out, your phone 3 feet out in front of you, and have a selfie stick, so that while you're walking and talking into your camera, they don't even see the DJI Osmo that's in it, but they get a better picture of you and your surroundings of what's behind you. Okay. These are also extremely important for if you're going to be doing a video walkthrough on a home. And so this is a tool that I would leverage to create things like Facebook stories, YouTube shorts, reels on Facebook and Instagram, videos for TikTok. All of TikTok really has changed the game as far as how we consume video. It's the fastest growing platform, social media platform in the world right now. And you can only shoot a 3-minute video. You can't have anything longer than that on the platform. And so that is a testament to show that in our marketplace today, and our ideal clientele that we're going to be getting in front of has a very short attention span. They're going to watch a 3-minute video and they're excited to watch a 3-minute video over watching a 30-minute video on YouTube. And statistics are proving that everything is moving in that direction. If we think about platforms like YouTube, they have now created their own section in YouTube that's similar to TikTok, and that is YouTube Shorts. Facebook and Instagram have done the same thing with Reels. You were originally only allowed to do a 30-second video. They've increased it to 60 seconds now on their platforms. All right, so all of these social platforms are following what the market trends are. And that trend is that our attention span is getting less and less, and we need to have shorter and shorter videos to put in front of those folks. Another awesome tool for you guys to leverage for video is actually something for virtual tour specifically, but it's a tool utilizing your phone. And so there's a ton of different products out there for these 360 cameras. Astroom has a very, very inexpensive product that uses your phone as the camera, and you essentially just set your phone up into a tripod, and that tripod rotates your phone in a 360, and it will take images of that particular room. You move it a couple of feet, it tells you when to move it, where to move it to, and then you can generate through their software a very inexpensive 3D virtual tour. Now, of course, the biggest company in the game is going to be Matterport. They have the best tech around this. Well, arguably the best tech. I would say the second in line, and actually I believe this company actually has a little bit better tech personally, is going to be a company called ImmoViewer, ImmoViewer, ImmoViewer. And ImmoViewer allows you to do the exact same thing as what you can do with Matterport. But let's say, for example, if you had a housing development that you were the sole agent on for new construction, you can actually have that virtual tour. If you've gone in with a drone over that entire development, or you paid somebody to come and do that with a drone, you can actually have that Matterport style virtual tour take you outside, up in the air, get a 1,000-foot view down on all of the plots and all of the homes in that particular neighborhood. And you can have a virtual tour of each of those homes saved in one place. So as somebody begins to search and look through these virtual tours, they can actually pop up into the air and go, okay, I didn't really like that house. Let's take a look at the next house on the block that's open and for sale right now. Then they can jump into it and get a full tour of that home. And they can actually go through and view an entire neighborhood in one fell swoop. So there are some really, really cool, inexpensive softwares out there that you guys can utilize for those virtual tours and virtual walkthroughs that I feel would be extremely advantageous for everyone on this call to take a look into. And most importantly, while you guys are doing these videos, be sure to wear a smile, bring a little bit of personality to the table, but also make sure to keep it nice and genuine so that it doesn't come across as fake or scripted or like you're reading from a teleprompter. Now, social content, how can we leverage your content in the most efficient manner? So this is something that kind of boils down to everything that I do. I like to make sure that we have the most streamlined and efficient approach to get it done. I mean, ask William, if we have something that I find that takes our agents 10 minutes to complete a task, I will spend 10 hours, 10 days, 10 weeks finding a way that you guys can do it within a click of a button so that we can streamline that process and make it as efficient as possible for you. So when we look at these kinds of things, and Colin has actually witnessed me do this several times in building building platforms before. But as we kind of dive into the video aspect of this, I want you guys to think of all of those different platforms that we spoke about previously and how you can leverage a video to be on each of those. So utilizing your videos for multiple platforms: Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, LinkedIn, etc. Now, what this means is you can shoot one video in a neighborhood covering a lot of different aspects. And as you're walking through that neighborhood or driving through that neighborhood, taking video and providing a monologue with that, you can actually cut and splice and make shorter videos out of the content that you just created for the big bullet points that you want to drive home. And so now you can take a section of that video that you've edited out, and you can utilize that for a Facebook reel that can only be 60 seconds. You can do another for a TikTok that can be 3 minutes long. You can utilize that on Instagram reels. And I realized I just put I have a typo here, and I know William's going to yell at me if I don't fix it. The next is going to be YouTube shorts. Those are 30-second videos that you guys will be able to get out there. And all of these aspects in social media, because of how TikTok has kind of paved the way of this new type of video platform that people are watching. And of course, this is just like a platform that came out years before. I'm trying to think of the name right now, but it fizzled out and died. It was called Vine. It was essentially TikTok, but the world wasn't ready for it yet. It was TikTok 1.0. TikTok took the idea, rolled with it. And at this point in time, our attention spans have gotten short enough that we have users flooding into the gates of these platforms. So Reels grow at a very, very fast rate. As soon as you start to get traction of viewership on those videos, Facebook and Instagram start to display those videos in front of more and more people so that you can gain more traction on it. And if your video is taking off and getting more viewers, Facebook's algorithm and Instagram's algorithm is designed to keep putting that in front of people because it's engaging content that people will watch, and it keeps people on their platform. So it's very important to start utilizing these specific aspects of what you're doing in marketing and your videos. And I'm also going to add into here stories on Facebook and Instagram, because stories also have a very good role and continue to be shared and placed in front of people if they are getting good reactions. Another good thing for social content outside of just videos for you guys to place as part of your brand strategy and growth is going to be infographics. So yes, we need to do videos where we talk about what's going on in the local market, what's happening, what's new, all of those good things. But we also need to provide those infographics behind it so that we can showcase to these potential buyers and sellers that we do have a good amount of knowledge and really place ourselves as the authority figure in that marketplace. So a couple of good places to go for those infographics. Keeping Current Matters is a really solid platform that provides you guys with a ton of information and infographics. If you choose to pick them up, they're like $30 a month, very inexpensive, and you can actually automate a lot of your social marketing as far as your organic materials that you're going to be putting out there through Keeping Current Matters. They're 100% real estate oriented, and they have some great materials that you could have an entire calendar's worth of infographics, different blog posts, you name it, that are being shared to your direct audience. And so that's always a good place to start. You can also leverage listings to leads to do this and promote those PDFs that you guys all have access to with listings to leads as ways to kind of leverage your knowledge and expertise in that local marketplace. And both of these platforms, whether it's Keeping Current Matters or listings to leads, brand that content specifically to you, the agent that's using that software. So not only will there be an awesome infographic giving tons of information to that potential buyer or seller, but there's also going to be branding that's placed on that for you so that you are the authority figure that's being shared in that particular instance. Now, this last portion on here, our second to last portion on this slide, is extremely important. Not everything that we do should be about real estate. So we want to make sure that we're sharing things.
Entrance Road, Symphony Woods Road.
We want to make sure that we're sharing things about our personal lives and about us that are going to resonate with potential clients. The more human that we are, the more people are going to want to work with us. Not everybody wants to work with someone that's professional 100% of the time. What really gets it done is building that relationship at the end of the day. And if we can share who we are with our potential audience and kind of give them an inside look into our lives, so they can see, okay, we do have families, we do have dogs, we do have pets, we take our kids to sporting events, we go to sporting events ourselves, we've got all of these things that we do, and every one of those things could be a way to resonate with potential clients. So if you're out at the fair, if with your family, it's a great opportunity to take a quick video and just kind of showcase, hey, you guys were at the local fair. The elephant ears were extra good this year. You guys should make your way down. If you are at a local sporting event or a concert or a show, be sure to either shoot a video or take a picture showcasing that you're out and about doing these things, so that your potential clients can see that you are in fact human and that you have some personality. And some of these things are going to resonate with that particular audience that you're working with. And that's going to be based on your market. So if you live in a rural area, that might be that might be some equestrian activities that you're doing where you're going horseback riding, or maybe you're getting out in the woods on an ATV or in one of those side-by-sides. Maybe you like to fish. Highlight these things, because it's going to give your clients something to talk to you about when you begin to meet with them. Most importantly, you guys, you want to keep it simple. We don't want to over convolute these things or take a 100% strategic approach on this. There's going to be things that you guys are going to do off cuff that are going to be just on the spot right then and there. You're going to find, okay, this is the perfect opportunity to shoot a video and to get myself in front of my audience, share who I am, or share about our local marketplace, so that we can set that authoritative role for ourselves and become a homestead in your marketplace as an agent that they're going to want to work with. Now, we've talked about social media marketing. So these are areas that we want to be able to leverage and utilize for not only paid traffic, but also for organic traffic that we're going to put these individuals in front of. And we've spoken to each one of these already. All right, so we need to make sure that we have ad budgets and dollars. Initially, you guys, if you're just getting started with this, pick one platform that's going to be your platform to grow your audience on. If you're just getting started, you're not going to have the budget to market on every single platform that's under the sun. So pick one that you feel is going to be best. We recommend Facebook because it's the lowest cost per lead that you can generate, whether that's from, and Facebook and Instagram are under the same bucket, whether that's YouTube, TikTok, Google, LinkedIn. Lowest cost per contact rate that you're going to get is on Facebook. Does that mean that it's going to be the most targeted and the best lead every single time? No. But if your budget doesn't allow you to spend thousands and thousands of dollars on marketing every single month, that is going to be your lowest hanging fruit as far as cost per dollar acquisition. So if you guys acquire enough leads through Facebook and Instagram, you can, in most markets, get about 100 leads a month for anywhere from $200 to $300 spent. And if you guys are doing that on a consistent basis, and either you have our ISAs calling or you're calling yourself, you should be able to convert 4 to 5 of those 100 from every single month. Now, that doesn't mean they're going to buy this month. They might buy in 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, but you're at least building your pipeline and growing your clientele basis so that you can start to have the dollars and gross commissionable income shake out of that pipeline and grow your business. YouTube is going to have a much higher cost of advertising than Facebook and Instagram, but it is, when you're targeting with a specific message in a video and those folks are reaching out, it is typically a little bit higher quality lead that you are generating. So you may be looking at 4 or 5 out of 50 instead of 4 or 5 out of 100, but you're still paying 2 to 4x cost per lead as to what you're looking at on Facebook. So I still say Facebook, going after the numbers game, is going to produce a better return on investment with a lower cost. But it boils down to, if you're an agent that's able to consistently make those calls and work through those leads. TikTok, substantially lower cost than YouTube at this point in time. We've been running some tests with clients on these. The issue that we found with TikTok is that the breadth expands nationwide. And so to pinpoint and target a specific location or neighborhood with that marketing at this point in time is a little bit lower for you to be able to do that. But TikTok is another great place for you guys to market, grow your presence. But you just there's certain things that you have to do when meeting with TikTok and setting up your ads to make sure that you're targeting your local marketplace. Google, again, a little bit higher cost per lead. We see roughly from Google pay-per-click ads, we're seeing higher cost per lead and roughly about the same conversion rate that we're looking at with Facebook and Instagram. But all of these places are staples that we should, as we grow our marketing and we grow our companies, our individual selves as agents, we need to look at marketing in these additional places so that we can grow our audiences, folks that are in our pipeline, our lead stream. And then of course, LinkedIn is a really awesome place if you want to target specific employees of companies. Example, if you were in Seattle, Washington, a great way to go about targeting potential buyers or sellers would be targeting these big tech companies that are here that pay their employees a very solid salary. So if we wanted to get in front of Amazon employees, if we wanted to get in front of Facebook employees, if we wanted to get ourselves in front of Expedia employees, just to name a few big tech companies that are in Seattle, LinkedIn is going to be a great way to target that specific marketplace. And what I've seen a lot of agents do extremely successfully in the past is generating a plan that's specifically for a particular employee of a company. So, hey guys, I'm reaching out because I'm a Google employee specialist and helping Google employees find their right home, delivering a message that's going to resonate with that specific company subset. If you have 3,000 to 10,000 employees in a particular marketplace, that is a great strategy to go after and to go and target those specific individuals. Now, the last portion of this when it comes to branding is going to be direct mail. So this is different from video. However, you can actually utilize video in direct mail. And there's two different ways to do that. One would be adding a QR code to that direct mail that sends them to either a BombBomb or a Loom video or a landing page that you have created that has a video on it. So that's number one. Number two is a much more expensive route. They cost about $50 per mailing. I haven't checked to see if Mailbox Power offers these, but I found them with other companies. You can actually send a direct mail to somebody that is a very inexpensive tablet, which is why they're only $50, and it displays one video on it. And so you can send a piece of direct mail with a video to homeowners in an attempt to win that listing. But it's about $50 a mailer to send those out. And your videos have to be under 2 minutes for most of those companies. But when we're sending out postcards specifically or letters, there's a couple of things that we need to make sure that we have on these pieces of marketing that we're putting in front of potential buyers and sellers. Got to have a nice photo of yourself with a big smile. So a photo of yourself is key because we are building our brand. And as agents, our brand is who we are and us. Number two is going to be your brokerage logo and then any credentials that are applicable. So if you're a specialist in any particular category and you've done additional education to gain those credentials, be sure to highlight and showcase those. Another thing that I would add to this would also be your license number or your brokerage license number. In places like California, that is extremely important for you to have on there. You do not want to get yourself into a position to be fined. So be sure to place your license number, your brokerage license number on that as well. So I'll also add that here just so that it gets through to everyone, license number. So that way you are showcasing that you are a professional, you have licensed credentials, and you work for a company that also has licensed credentials as well. You also want to deliver a very compelling message with a unique selling proposition to those folks. Now, we've talked about on several times, if you're sending mailers out to FSBOs, a really solid strategy that has been proven to convert at a high level is something like a for sale by owner backup plan, or a backup option for them in the event that they don't sell their home within the next 2 weeks to 30 days. I can tell you right now, again, I'm shopping for a home. A lot of the homes that are staying on the market longer are the for sale by owner properties that are out there. I can tell you I've got 2 or 3 that have been on the market for the last 3 months as I've been searching. And there's going to be a breaking point for those FSBOs. They're going to end up working with an agent at some point in time if their home doesn't sell. Some of it boils down to, from what I can see, pricing. They've overpriced their homes. Some of it breaks down to the fact that they haven't displayed their home in a manner that is going to be attractive to buyers. Maybe they haven't cleaned up junk. Maybe their lawn hasn't been cared for, or their landscaping is lacking, or they have one room in their house that just looks really weird and it doesn't fit the rest of the layout. These are the types of things that I'm personally seeing that are staying on the market longer. So I'm sure there's several other reasons that you guys will be able to think of or come up with, but it's just things that I'm currently
we
seeing.
all know those photos that people take with their iPhone 4 that you can barely even see, right? So a lot of different reasons, definitely.
Well, and unfortunately, that's not just the homeowner that's a for sale by owner, that's agents as well. I mean, William and I can tell you guys, we've set up thousands of these IDX catalog feeds for EXP agents around the nation that have KV Core, and every hour that catalog reloads the listings from that IDX and removes properties that are pending or under contract and adds properties that are newly active. A lot of those homes, we can't actually display the images because the image that was taken by that particular agent is less than 600 by 600 pixels. So I don't know if somebody's still got a BlackBerry from 2005, or if they're using a flip phone to take these photos, or an iPhone 1, 2 through 4, but it's extremely important to make sure that you guys have an up-to-date camera that you're utilizing when taking those photos. So it's not just the FSBOs. There are some agents that are guilty of it too, but these are all things that hinder the sale of a home. And then also, when you are sending out a direct mail to a homeowner, a photo of their property is really going to catch their attention. And you guys, we are waiting on Mailbox Power to complete the back end side of that, so that when we send through that Google image of their home, we can have it displayed on a postcard. So hopefully this is sooner than later that their dev team gets it knocked out, but we have an automated feature for you guys that we'll be rolling out here in the near future, so that you can automate posting a photo of their home onto that postcard that gets sent. Go ahead.
All right, I was wanting to tap a little bit more onto branding up there at the top when we were talking about different ways you can brand yourself. And so I wanted to ask you guys a question. I wanted to see, what types of partners have you guys considered using? Can you guys give me just a message in the bottom, or inspectors? Great one. Awesome. What else? Has anybody considered CPAs? Or what about lawyers? You could look at contractors or termite companies, or waiting on that list. Yeah, absolutely. So I think that would also be a really great thing for you guys to look at. What are the local businesses in your market that a lot of people use? And you can even think of it in a specific way. You could look at some of the best businesses and find out, you can look at a business and know what type of client is going to be attracted to that business, right? Solar companies.
Hey, Willie,
That's-
I got a good one for you.
Yeah.
If anybody has a military base anywhere near where they market, just go into their office for public affairs, because they're always moving people in and off base, and they refer them to their preferred realtor, their preferred whoever, and obviously the lending is going to be VA, and a lot of people can get leads right from there, right from the
Absolutely.
military.
That's a great one too. Definitely.
That is a great one. William, I think that you're going off on an awesome tangent. I wish that this would have been added into our slide, but I will make sure to add it in for a downloadable version down the road. You guys, I love the direction this is going right now. So that William brings a really, really important aspect of this for building your brand. I think of lenders, insurance agents that are in your local marketplace, your local title rep that you work with. CPAs was great. Lawyers is great, especially if you're looking at things like, especially with those attorneys, if you're looking at, say, folks that deal with probate attorneys, really good way to find some low-hanging fruit and win some new listings, especially if you can get together and do a video with your local probate attorney. Or maybe you have a divorce attorney that you like to work with, because unfortunately, in a lot of those cases, real estate needs to be sold in order for that to be completed. Those are really good places. I really liked where you were heading with contractors and also solar companies. Today, everybody has this overwhelming feeling that we need to move to a more green and sustainable way of life when it comes to energy. And so I feel that solar companies is a really good way for you to showcase your expertise as an agent, that you are focused on kind of that cutting edge technology. One thing that just kind of piqued my, or light, something just went off, is that I'm thinking about an article that I read, that you can increase the value of a home by about $10,000 with a simple about $1,000 worth of investment into a home, and that's utilizing smart features in a home. So adding in those smart light bulb fixtures, adding in things like a Ring doorbell, making your home more of a smart home. So if you can showcase those kinds of things to your local market as well, and show them a simple way that they can 10x and get an ROI on an investment, showing them how they can do that with all of these different smart home features would absolutely be huge. And then military bases, I love that one too. And it makes me think about some terminology that you want to use. So PCSing, and that's going to be permanent change of station in military verbiage. That's their acronym that they use, PCSing. So we've worked with a lot of agents that work with VAs, that work with ex-military and veterans and active duty. And a lot of our agents focus on going after agents that are PCSing, making that permanent change of station. It's an easy, to put it in simple terms, it's just the folks that are relocating. So I think Colin had an amazing point on that. Go and meet, go to one of your local military bases. Once you get on, go and meet with them and see if you can put something up on a bulletin board. But make sure that you're using verbiage that's going to catch that military personnel's attention. So if you're saying relocating to this marketplace, it may not resonate with your audience as well as using their particular term, which is PCSing, or permanent change of station, right? So make sure that when you're leveraging these individuals, that you're using verbiage and language that's going to resonate with those particular audiences. And so
And you want to talk, and you want to talk to the person that's also coordinating with the movers. That's the same person that you want to get in touch with. So as they coordinate with the movers, they can give your information as well. I'm sure some of you may have run to saying, yeah, the Army's moving us, and they've already got set us up with a moving company and a realtor. They do that. So just find the person, whoever coordinates the moving, that's the person you want to talk to.
Yep, absolutely. So I'm going to go ahead and actually add these down. Do you guys have any others that you can think of that we can add to this list?
Angela said divorce and chamber of, I'm guessing she's meaning Chamber of Commerce, right? Yep, Chamber of Commerce. That's a great one. Yeah. What are the local businesses in your market that you could even put your business card at, or a flyer talking about you and your business? What are those locations that you could use to your advantage and leverage? Any other thoughts, guys? Let's think. Contractors, solar companies. Yep.
Another one I've seen repeatedly is places where people do weddings. Because usually after they get married, they go buy a new house. So wedding venues, wedding planners.
What about restaurants? A lot of people.
That's a good one.
They do that, but they typically want something in return on those.
Might be worth it. There's a lot of people.
Well, I do feel that restaurants would be a great way, especially if that restaurant has a bulletin board, or if you can do a video with that owner. So a big way that a lot of agents are leveraging and growing their social media presence is by working with local community leaders. Another thing that I would think of here with that, I mean, so there's something to be said about cross-pollination. So if you guys meet with a local lender, you meet with an insurance agent, you meet with a title representative, a CPA, probate attorney, divorce attorney, contractors, all of these things, all of these companies have one thing in common, or these professionals have one thing in common, and that's that they are building their own audiences of followers, and they're building their own following on all of these social presences. And restaurants is huge in that as well, because it's going to not curtail to a specific niche. It's going to have a wide breadth, right? So when I think about these as a way for you guys to grow and build your brand, if you can go and shoot a video with your local lender talking about different mortgage products that are out there and available on the marketplace, that video is going to go on their social as well as yours. And you'll have people that will be able to get in contact with you that maybe weren't in your particular following or your particular audience. Same goes for insurance agents, title reps, CPAs, probate attorneys, contractors, all of those. So as you work with these local individuals in your marketplace and develop relationships with them, not only are they going to refer business to you, but you're also going to be able to get in front of their audience so that you can grow. And I mean, you guys, this is something that we do on a regular basis. William or myself will jump on with agents that have a massive influence and have either podcasts or YouTube channels, or have a good presence on TikTok, so that we can get in front of their audience and grow our clientele. So I feel it would be a disservice for us to do that for ourselves and not tell you guys about it in a way that you can grow your own businesses and your own presences in your local market. So go ahead.
What about offering a free virtual tour to all of the local businesses in your market so that they can put it on their website and put it on Google, and you're now benefiting local business owners? And when it comes time for maybe them to sell their home or buy a home, you're right there to help them too. And, if you offer a free virtual tour, that's going to be something beneficial and free you can hand out to those business owners, and they're going to think of you. That's for sure.
And if a homeowner sees that on a website and you're displayed as being the person who provided that virtual tour, that's going to give you some additional free exposure. That's brilliant.
Absolutely.
You could also do a first-time home buyer seminar at a restaurant and get it with the restaurant owner and saying, I'll do this here. People will come and eat, but as I do that, you just post my video that I create for it on your Facebook page as well. So that way he's sharing to his audience what you just did at his location. So I've seen people do that.
Definitely. The lunch and learns.
Absolutely. Now, do we have any other ideas out there from the group that you guys could leverage to grow your brand, whether that's through a particular professional that you can work with, or a platform, anything that we've covered today. Do you guys have anything that you feel would be beneficial to add in and help all the agents in this community grow?
Can I ask a quick question?
Yes.
Can you give me an example of, like, if you're working with community leaders, are you talking about local government officials? Because I'm in the DC area, so just trying to get an idea.
I actually feel that local government officials, if you can get a meeting with them and do an interview with them, would be great, because they have an extremely large audience. And their audience could be on both sides of the political spectrum. I do recommend keeping politics out of anything business.
Right.
I'm a firm believer that money is green and it doesn't apply to either party. And so I personally don't like to promote any of my political thoughts or feelings out there on social, because it could hinder my business, or I could lose a potential client because I'm promoting one party over another. And there's this really large right now polarization between
Yep.
the two parties when it comes to the things that are political. And so if you're on one side of the spectrum and you're, really lean that direction, you're going to have a distaste for anybody that's on the other side of that spectrum. And that's just kind of what's being created right now through all of these social platforms and everything that's going on in the world. So I would recommend, if you are going to meet with one of your local councilmen or councilwomen, or maybe say a mayor or governor or something along those lines, or senator, if you can get that kind of pull to have that meeting, make sure that your questions are not geared towards a particular party,
Right.
so to speak.
Right.
Because you don't want to lose business. And the way that I really feel about it is, at the end of the day, as much polarization as there is, we all have a pretty common goal that we want to establish. And if we were all to sit down and have a conversation, we have a heck of a lot more in common than what we believe just from the outside looking in.
Yep.
So that's just kind of my 2 cents on that. I think that we all kind of believe a lot of the similar things. We just have a different approach or a different thought train based off of the content that we personally consume. So
Exactly. I just wanted to follow up real quick. William, can you give an example of when you said do a free virtual tour? You mean of that business owners, like their business or their restaurant?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
actually, I might have an example. Viewer.com. I don't know if this is still on here, but I had a client that had done this. They're a huge luxury agent on the western coast of Michigan, and the most popular restaurant in their area, they did a virtual tour for it. And William actually wasn't with me when we were working with this client, so that was just something that he brought up off the top of his head, which is absolutely awesome. I completely forgot about this, but we did have a client that did that, posted the virtual tour on that particular restaurant's website, and they gained a ton of free exposure by doing it. I'm going to see if I still have access, or of course still have access. They're still my client, but I'm going to see if we still have access to that particular virtual tour, just to see if we can showcase that on this live training. Give me 1 second. I'm going to look.
Yeah, that's
Another
awesome
good
idea.
one is each state has a secondary schools association, basically where all the sports are for all the schools. And of course, almost all their billboards are digital. And I've seen some real estate agents partnership up with some of these schools. So during their games, they're being highlighted during intermissions and whatnot.
Also, it looks like they don't have that any longer of that particular business. One thing that I thought was really cool with ImmoViewer software, they are a direct competitor to Matterport. And this is the one that I was talking to you guys about, where you could do, you can go from one virtual tour to the next in a neighborhood. They also have the ability to change some things on the screen or display banners as people are going through these virtual tours. So one of the things that this particular agent had done is in the restaurant tour, when she did a 3D tour of this particular restaurant, is that everywhere they had a TV. So in their bar, there was a TV, and they had like kind of a sports room where it was kind of like tailored to a sports bar kind of setting, and there was TVs all over the place. She actually put her essentially business card on each one of those computer screens. So, or those TV screens. So as people were going through the virtual tours and looking around and seeing the walls, she was splattered everywhere on it. So as long as the business that you're doing this virtual tour for will allow you to do that, I would highly recommend giving yourself a plug inside of that virtual tour so that your info is displayed while they're looking through that particular restaurant. That's just some very, very sneaky marketing that you can do that's absolutely a ninja move. So really cool stuff there. Awesome. Well, does anyone have anything else to add on the subject of branding yourself in your local marketplaces and giving yourself a leg up on your competition? Great. Well, I appreciate everybody joining today. We are going to be doing more sessions around this for how you guys can leverage video to your benefit and to grow your audience, build your brand, and start attracting those clients to you that you want to reach out and call you in particular based off your brand, your message, who you are, and what you can deliver to them as a local market professional and a real estate agent. So again, I thank everybody for taking the time to jump on this live training today. We're going to have more like this here in the near future regarding targeting specifically the video aspect of this. We look forward to seeing you guys on our next live session. And again, we do these live every Tuesdays and Thursdays at 1 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. So again, thanks everybody, and we look forward to catching you on the next one.